Alright, you beautiful people, Kanzi here, bringing you episode 42 of Kenshi, Age of Blood and Sand, Iron Man playthrough. In the last episode, we took out the Holy Nation, we took out the two High Inquisitors, and then the High Lord Phoenix. We are just coming back from Blister Hill now, and we have the High Lord Phoenix with us, so we're going to try and drop him off to the Shek. The Shek are telling us that we need to go and find Bayan, so we have headed down to Squin. We have found him in Squin in the town headquarters, so we are going to hand him off to the Shek. This will increase our relation with them, so we will have them now as an ally and a cheeky 100,000 cats. We're going to move some equipment around on our guys just so they're geared up, and now we're going to start heading our way towards the Western Hive. This is the next set of targets we want to take out. We want to take out the Western Hive Queen and then defend their revenge attack. The revenge attack should be pretty massive, so I'm really looking forward to that. If we can defend that pretty happily, we will be in a good situation for when we go and attack the Southern Hive. Because if we struggle against the Western Hive, we know we need to spend a bunch more time getting our guys together, so they'll be in a situation so that even stand a chance against the Southern Hive. We have found a mysterious vault along the coastline, so we are going to head down and check it out. If my memory serves me right, these mysterious vaults sometimes have legendary equipment in it. So the legendary equipment is very similar to Meitu in stats, just cosmetically it looks a little bit different, so that adds a little bit more flavour. But I guess we should see what is behind the door. Suspense. Alright, we got a couple skellies and a vault spider, it looks like. So shouldn't be a massive issue to take down. My guys are pretty decent, so if we can pull back, pull them out, and then just take them apart. If there is anything good in this vault, this looks like it's fairly lightly defended, so it might be a nice place to go early on in the game to try and pick up some decent equipment. So I'll keep that as a mental note, I reckon. So let's just have a little look around. Nothing in there. We got an impact pile, which is really good against robots, and there we go. There is one of the legendary weapons, the Tempest's Stampede. It's got a pretty nice mix between cut and blunt damage, extra bonus to humans, extra bonus against robots, and extra armor penetration. So across the board, that is a pretty decent weapon to find, so I'm happy with that. Folding swords, not a massive fan of. We do have a Meitu one already, but they are just so ridiculously huge. But we are finding some quality equipment in here, so pretty happy with that. Going to swap the Swiander over, move the axe across to GNU, and pick up some of this interesting stuff just so we can have a look at it for later on. And that is that vault pretty much done. So I'm happy with finding that. There's some decent stuff in there. We managed to find this abandoned skeleton warehouse. We'll have a look around here. It is on the way to the Queen, so we might as well loot as much as we can. But so far, nothing much. A copper ingot, so nothing fancy there. An arm. We're building better arms at the base, so we don't need to worry about that. And yeah, this is some better kit here. Engineering research, CPU cores, orb mask. Yeah, again, still building better for prosthetics than those, so we don't need them. And now let's just head over to the Western Hive Queen and finish her off. We are running into the issue with a few of our guys having to be left behind because they're running more prosthetics. They are terrible at swimming, so they cannot keep up with the guys. So there's 4 of them or 3 of them that have dropped back, and now everyone that can make it is going in to the Western Hive Queen's throne room. I can see 2 Meitu weapons. One, it looks like the neck harvester, and the other the Queen has, which is a Meitu polearm. There's quite a few people in here, quite a few Praetorians, but the Praetorians only have a chest armor, so they've got nothing protecting their legs, it looks like, and nothing protecting their heads. Then the soldier drones that are in there don't look like they're in full plate either. So once we go in and we start swinging, we should just be able to start knocking limbs off, and this fight should be over fairly quickly. We do need to be careful because you do not underestimate hives, because they are tough cookies. Their stats are fairly decent. They're not amazing. They're in about the 50s and the 60s. So they are going to be a decent fight for us. I say that as they all just begin to melt. Our alpha damage going off is crazy good. We are 2 hives down. 2 of them have been knocked out. We are fighting everyone in the throne room, but we also have a couple guys outside holding off the rest of the hives from coming up the hill. So we're in a decent position. We will win this. There's a bunch of limbs going flying everywhere. It is a shame you do not see more Praetorians in the Kenshi world with the Hive extended mod. I reckon they just look so good. They're proper fitting for within the Hive as well, because they make sense, because then you got all the different tiers. But we have cleared the throne room. The Queen has been done. The arrest of the Western Hive has been wiped out, and now it's just going to be a matter of killing off any of the stragglers that are still around. We want to send a message, and then we're going to go around and we're going to look into looting the Melee weapons when we get a chance, when it stabilizes. We'll get our guys patched up. It doesn't look like we took too much damage. Thankfully there haven't been too many hits on the legs, so my guys are still rapid, and despite Lidus not being in any armor, he is taking very little damage. I think that probably comes down to just how crazy high his dexterity is. It just means no one can land a hit on him, which is really good. So even in that time of wiping out the Hive and swimming there, I've still got a bunch of guys that aren't even anywhere near getting back to the land. We've managed to get back. We're going to start running across and trying to get to the base. I've got a couple guys that have made it to the base already, my faster ones, but then I still have, it looks like 3 or 4 guys still trying to make their way across. We are expecting the revenge attack to arrive any moment now. I think it's just bugging out a little bit, but soon it will be with us, and then once it is, it's going to be a good old scrap. What we're going to do is we're going to put GNU into the peeler machine. We're going to take off the last of his limbs, and then we're going to replace all of his limbs with dread limbs, because the reason we're doing this is he is going to be using the Holy Phoenix's armor, which offers very little arm protection, and he's going to be using nomadic legs. But I'm getting distracted. Okay, the revenge attack is here, but it looks like this is only like a 1/5 of it. Like, this is tiny compared to what I'm expecting, and they've only got 1 special character in there as well. There should be like 3 or 4, so hopefully the rest of them show up, and then we will be in for a pretty decent little scrap. I am just waiting for hundreds of hives just to like come around the corner into the screen and just overrun us, because this is probably smaller than 1/5 of the size that we should be expecting. And I mean, they're still putting up a pretty decent fight as well. They've got different types of hives, so they've got the hives in the heavy plate, then they've got the hives in the lighter plate, similar to how we have it with the different hives doing different things. So some are better for tanking, some are better for causing damage, and then the Praetorians are just awesome. But having Praetorians without the armor on their arms and on their legs is taking the Praetorians out of the fight super quick, because we can just end up just knocking their limbs down and then they can't fight. A little bit disappointing, I am going to say. I was expecting far more than this, but I think there's just a pathing issue at the moment with where my base is, because we had the same problem with the Retribution of God as well. That had the problem with the pathing and the attacks not coming in properly, so we might need to do a rejig of the base. So hopefully for when the Southern Hive comes, which is going to be the big fight, it is all set up. But yeah, they've only got 1 special character, which is the samurai on the ground there. What we'll do is we'll get Cross-Eye, and then we will take that special armor and put it on to him, and we'll take the Leaf Saber as well. What we're going to do, as soon as we've got a bunch of time at the moment, is we're going to start heading down so we can be in position to attack the Southern Hive. We do have the Western Hive bandits now showing up, which I reckon is super cool. They look so good. But then I'm a big fan of most things hives anyway, so pretty smart with that. Also, I'm wondering if when we knock them down, if we can change the colour of our armour onto them, because I really like the way that the heavy plate looks, but I think it just looks a little bit too clean for Kenshi. It should be a bit more like damaged up or like bunged up or slightly discoloured, because otherwise it just looks like it's like this perfect plate, which don't get me wrong, in another game would look really right, but it doesn't quite in this. And that is Cross-Eye in his new armor set, which I think looks pretty smart. We're nearly down to the way station. When we're at the way station, the plan is we're going to stop by and try to buy a few sleeping bags. If everything goes south, we should be able to camp up, heal up, and hopefully pull out a fighting retreat, worst case scenario, or just heal the guys up that need it and then go back in. We are now down at the Southern Hive, so we're going to take out one of the first hives on the way in, and I think this is going to be a good gauge to see how strong the Southern Hive are going to be against us. But at the moment they're melting, but then these guys aren't in any hive armor, they're just in armored rags, so it's not really a fair show. And I also imagine if we got stopped at the first hive that we went into, we would not be in a good situation at all to try to take down King or the Queen or the Praetorian Royal Guards, who are redonkulously tough. Super high toughness, really good armor, really good skill, huge HP pools, and a lot of fun to fight. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I need to bring the episode to an end, so thank you very much for watching episode 42 of Kenshi Age of Blood and Sand. I've been Konzi. All your likes, comments, subs and support have been amazing. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one.